Well,
The abuse is embarrassing to say the
it's
least.
embarrassing. So no matter how late it is coming, I think it's good enough that at the end of the day, they have thought it wise to do that. The only thing I want to say here is that the NUT is clarifying that people who have honorary degrees, honoris causa, are not to practice in so and so place in regulated areas. Of course, most of the people who earn it sometimes do not even have a first degree, or maybe because they are political appointees, they are this and that. Before you know it, they pay money. Do you know that since I told one or two persons who came with a bottle of wine to tell me they want to give me an award because of how much they like what I'm doing. And I said, please take your wine back. You can't be telling me you like what I was doing and you are giving me a bottle of wine. All of the guys that when I receive the award, you ask me to pay something while I'm saying thank you. And when you don't say that thank you, or you make the mistake of saying the thank you by promising something and you don't give, you will not rest until you give it. I don't know whether they communicated with themselves. So I've not been receiving awards again, and I think I love it because it's nothing more than plaques in a house. There are so many that can't even display them. So this is a good move for me.
You know, when I saw the news yesterday, I was excited. ICT confirmed that because I was like, can I have the link to the story, please? Because I saw it first on my Facebook page, rather. I think this is really embarrassing that somebody will go to school for 3 years, go travel across, suffer, earn a PhD. Some schools, the PhD they reach 5 years. And then all that suffering. Somebody that did not even cross the four of institution. One school of theology somewhere, maybe in Ohangu, will just offer the person doctorate, and then the person will now put it in front of his name, Doctor Philemon or Doctor Joe Ajero or Doctor. And then you cannot distinguish between the person who goes school get PhD and the person who get honorary. Just like Bonnie mentioned, most of the people who have honorary, now then they carry up for head past the people who go school. Look at our former governor, OUK, Dr. Ojuzo Kali. When did he get a PhD? Our governor, Alex Otti. Dr. Alex Otti, did he have a PhD? No, honorary. But they must put it before their names in a way that you will even think that if you love the PhD, go to university. After 3 years, you don't need to be attending lecture every day because you're a good one. You go to class the day you like. In fact, they even give you scope of work. The governor of Imo State, is doing his PhD in Gregory University. He may not be attending lecture every day, but at least he has admission, he has classmates, he has supervisor. After 3 years, he put a PhD, doctor. It's it. Why would you want to enjoy something you are not part of? It's not even making sense to me.
Well, Annie, thank you that you have mentioned that some big men are quote and unquote attending classes for their PhD. In Nigeria, let's also be very clear on this that we have a lot of big men who have academic PhDs who did not attend class for one day. There was a point we pointed out how some military persons on retirement because we have people in their 50s leaving service in their prime, if you ask me, because they have attained 30, 35 years on the job. Whereas entry point into the NDA, for instance, was 17, 18. And then as at that time you spend 3 years when you're 20, and then by the time you spend 35 years, you are just 55 and you have to go. A young
But
and so we have a lot of people.
a lot of MCs, you know how some of these people have honorary degrees, they don't born you, may you the name you put doctor. Their PA will come meet you, whisper, please
Well,
put it,
you
put
see,
it.
and so
And
particularly,
they did not earn it.
I had mentioned it somewhere, and some persons were arguing with me. I know a lot of people in uni who, after retirement at such tender ages, if you ask me, would go to Unilag and obtain, a degree in law, but you never see any of their chambers, and they don't practice, but they're lawyers. Even in this democratic dispensation, there are some persons. I know one from River State. He is a doctor, I mean, a lawyer, but has never practiced anywhere. Fine, the wife actually is a lawyer, and the wife is climbing the ladder in that profession. You should know who I'm talking about. So, and you say thank you, but please do not touch NDs because we are native doctors. And the native doctors, why are you laughing now?
Yeah, I try to reconcile.
The NUCO, native doctors do not have to go through your university. So leave us, ND, native doctor. No, you understand? Thank you very much. Why are you laughing now? I want to be
I think
qualification.
it's in summary, if you work for it, I think it's very simple. Don't do what's in the BK called make believe, and then you're moving around with a doctorate degree that is make believe. Go and earn it. It's that simple.
And it is easy for them to go through any university, particularly the
What are
private
you saying?
ones.
Just
Uh,
call the
uh,
VC when
you
you
know,
need PhD admission there.
even law
They will
school,
give you sharp sharp.
even law school today. Some people go to law school. You may want to know how they came out of law school because the law school is a strenuous environment. That was, they told that when he was called to bar 2 years ago or thereabout. But again,
And you see the way he was bragging with his photos.
uh,
Look, there is something about earning something. It will give you morale.
wait,
Do you know when like in picture everywhere now, like barrister,
if you
back,
see his
the law.
chamber, some senior advocates chambers are not as rich
The guy get class on the
as
normal.
that of
See his house,
Malaye.
the cars he drives. It's a guy of class. But yes, there is the pride that comes with when you earn something. So I don't know why some people just
So I just want to see him begin to, win in court. We do know that in ABU there are stories that some of them were said, let my people go. Eh? And he did geography. But notwithstanding, he's doing well for himself, whichever way it is. A la Nigeria.
So yesterday, the president of the Traders Association, Solomon Daula, was accused security of allegedly disregarding warnings and alarms during several people over impending attacks across the state, especially after the Ramadan period. He made the accusation when he visited Angon Lokoga, community just North local government area after a devastating attack on Sunday night by unknown gunmen. He said the threats and warnings were open and clear. He cited some posts on social media threatening mayhem, with some specifically stating that after the Ramadan, there will be more violence. And they wondered why security authorities did not take such threats seriously.
Well, you remember Pastor Dachoko. Dachoko, by the way, is also from that state. The one who has taken the case even to the United Nations. The one who consistently say that what is happening on the platform is not ethnic, it's not farmer header clashes, but religious jihad, religious genocide. That is using his words. Yes, it can be denied as possible, as much as possible, by those who are apologists of government. But look at what is happening. Do you know that this thing happened in Barkin Ladi just last week or thereabout? It wasn't so publicized. This one now happened in Anguar Rukuba. Rukuba, like I mentioned, is where you have a very sprawling military barrack. Anguar Rukuba is not any village anywhere, even if you have, ramshackle houses there. It's an open space that if intelligence is to work, if quick response is to work, the people wouldn't have done what they had done, and even if they did, they wouldn't have gone away scot-free like we have seen. And the people of Plateau are saying, and like we have said here over time, if people come on motorbikes in numbers, in a dry or wet, as the case may be, Plateau State, and you don't see the tracks coming and the tracks going even after they've gone, something is wrong somewhere. The people of the place say they know. There are also allegations that when the youths of Anguaro Cuba and environs mobilized to go after the people, that security agencies stopped them. And that allegation has been rife over the years and in so many places. You know what happened when they said, security agents were moved from a given radius of a school in Niger State, that was, and then the terrorists came and took away over 200 pupils from a Catholic school in Niger State, yes. So how is this thing taking place? The question will remain, where do they stay? Do they have some talisman that makes them to disappear and appear, reappear, cause mayhem, and just disappear? These questions must linger until government finds solution to it. Now, the governor of Plateau State, Mufwang was coming to Angwarukuba and he came in an armored vehicle. And then the youth of the place said, no way, you must come down from that armored vehicle. You must come down. And then as soon as he came down, he started crying. Crying how? Anyway, I think, like I've said before, it's a question of when and where will the next happen. Because the terrorists are way ahead in intelligence and everything. When we get about 10, 15 of them, it is big news. But when they kill so many people, we become conservative. I saw a video from one of my younger brothers from area. You know, they counted 1, 2, 3, and at the time the video cut, it was over 20. The police in Plateau said it was 12, and then they were asking for autopsy from the doctors. The doctor said, "Look, it is complicated. The family of the individuals, when identified, will have to give consent." And then the DG of the zone said no. Pointed at the commissioner of police and said, "This is the right man to ask you for an autopsy." They are trying to now, use government logic now to cover it, but you cannot cover this thing. The question is where next and when next? Who next? Who is safe? It is bad.
The situation in John is heartbreaking. Watching the video of the woman whose son was killed, she held him in her arms.
I said, "Don't go, you are sleeping."
Saying he's not dead.
Oh.
She said, "No, her son is not dead." You're a parent and you watch that video and break your heart. I don't know who, but those videos are happening. And the question, which the Benin youths have said, is that there were warnings. These guys did send messages. People now cool down after Ramadan, the show now Pepe. And just after Ramadan, they hit them. For why is it that we're not investing heavily on intelligence that way? Because once this stuff big, even if you cannot gather intelligence, not security. You tell them, security relocate to this, relocate to that. When are they going to relocate to Jos? Because the situation in Jos is terrible. Because they see these people coming. They see them, they feel them, they see the danger. And every time this thing happens, you hear people say, there were warning signs. And then nothing is done. And yesterday, just like you mentioned, it was as if you read my post on Facebook, the governor, Mr. Caleb, came to see the people in an armored vehicle. When I mean armored, he could not come out. It was only from his chest to his head that you can see. The other parts of his body were inside the armored car. And then there were 3 security people on top of the armored car holding the cover. So that if there is any danger, the man will just sink inside the armored tank. Like he came prepared. And then the people you came to address were just watching you with their feet standing all over the place. And then tomorrow now you go come campaign, you don't get armored car. You go carry like content and say, may they vote for you. But when you came to address them in that time of need, you entered an armored vehicle. Where is your conscience?
If you want to go for socials,
where is wisdom?
At a place called West of Mines, where we used to go and buy suya chicken.
I like the reception the people gave him.
He will not use that much.
If he has sense, he will say, "Oh boy, I don't cross the red line." He did not show any form of empathy yesterday. It was as if he was there to fulfill all righteousness.
You talked about Ramadan. Yes, that was as far as Angwarukuba was concerned. But do you know that even while the Ramadan was on, that was when they were blowing up bridges in Kwara, they were doing more in other places. How can we make this? I will continue to ask this question. Let's go on a break now. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
nke ahụ bụ nde mmadụ abụọ emere kwa ụbọchị tinyere ihe karịrị nde iri ise ihe nrita kwaisi ụta ndị otu iko maọbụ plastik karama nke kok fanta maọbụ swat isi na mmemme n'elu mkpuchi ahụ maọbụ obi ịbụ onye
Little body, big moves, little brain, big learning. Your little child is eager to do big things. Every sachet of Fairlab Junior comes with the nutrition they need, natural grains, protein, and iron to support their physical growth, learning, and development. So you can fully enjoy your little one's big moments of growth. Wake up, feel strong, feel free with Therapy. Iron for you and me. Being a product of Basic Healthcare PLC available to services nationwide. Loading things with your blood flow.
Anyị wuru ezinụlọ nke mkpakọrịta ka ukwuu. Ọnụ anyị n'ụlọ wuru ihe ndabere ka ejikere aka nkịta otu ọnụ anyị ka ga-ewu ọbịa n'ihu karịa ịrụ ụlọ.
People wanting to be president. You have the minister, of course, you have an HQ for here, and some others who are not prepared to be there. If you come to something and you see what happened in the last year,
Among Kalu Igere for Chronic Crusade contains 3 days from Park Camp and Revival Crusade. A very special person. Date Friday the 4th to 5th of April 2026. Then Among Kalu Igere Mood Square. Time 9 a.m. Speakers Reverend Dr. Chris Orji, Reverend Dr. Carlo Bassi, Reverend Vicky Peter, Reverend James Obasi, Pastor Dominic Uibe, Dr. Mrs. Joe Okuchukwu, Evangelist Joshua Eka, Dr. Chukuma James, and others. Plan to attend, expecting undiluted drink, total restoration, salvation, healing, breakthrough, divine lifting, deliverance, breaking of ancestral yoke, and all-round blessings. Free buses will be available at the Presbyterian Church, number 1 Azikiwe Road, Aba, on Thursday, the 2nd of April 2026. This is signed by Elder T. Dekwe Madoka, Isiogo Elder, HPHP for Amankalu for Christ.
Admission is ongoing. 2024 academic session to big model schools located at Obe, South West Government area. Box 2032 Civic Model School, full boarding facilities, with excellent sporting facilities, conducive learning environment, modern library, active ICT unit, supplementary exams, on the 18th of May and 15th of June 2026 at our Lycée office and school campus. Rush now and register your child. For more inquiries, call 0906 716 7857, 0906 716 7857, or 0803 267 8180, 0803 267 8180, or visit www.modelsschools.com, CHYBIK modelschools.com, or visit our license office at 13 Ilile Road, opposite police station.
And politics, widening the alternative voice within the democratic space.
The West African Examinations Council, WAEC, has released a timetable for the 2026 West African Senior School Certificate Class for school candidates. The timetable was published on WAEC's page on Monday. According to the timetable, the examination would commence Tuesday, April 21, 2026, and end on Friday, June 18, 2026. The examination will begin with food sanitation, 3 practical planning session, and home management 3 practical planning session. You can check Education's official social media pages for a full breakdown of the dates and times of the examinations.
All right. So
This is how do I put it now? Memories and memories. We did this about okay, I think it was May, June at that time, but this one is a little earlier. But because maybe they have a whole lot more to do now. They're having practice with 3 1, 2, 3, and all that. So from April to June. Anyway, I hope students who are listening will actually check the full breakdown if they don't have it already. That is one. And then prepare, because that is the bridge. Echo, you ask, I tell you, are the bridges to the next level. If you don't get it, you won't cross to the next level. Unless you want to take to practical vocational studies, okay, where you don't really need too much of a functionalism. You understand? So that's a big one.
What do you mean functionalism?
Much grammar now. Because you know, if you don't know how to speak English, you won't pass mathematics, you won't pass geography, you won't pass the religion studies. You have to know plenty English.
Well, we wish the students all the best. We also hope the parents will give the necessary push now that the timetable is out. Yesterday, I got a very troubling message from a parent in one of the schools in Aba, which I will not mention their name for obvious reasons. Let me just read the paragraph of the message they sent it from the WhatsApp group. After thorough deliberations, management has approved the payment of a sum of 100,000 naira to cater for key requirements necessary for the smooth conduct of the WAEC examination. They include uniform, entertainment, furniture, sanitation, security, ID card, testimonial, laboratory needs, graduation, administration, logistics, entertainment for exam supervisors. Now, this 100,000 is not school fees. Please get it straight. You have already paid school fees, you have already registered for WAEC. But this school is demanding 100,000 naira from parents. 100,000 naira. You know, certain things we hear in this town just want to go crazy. Not school fees, entertainment, ID card, all those things that will just be used for that exam season and they're gone. In this hard economy, it's unfortunate.
You know, when the poor is crying, the rich, the rich will say they are making noise.
Don't talk. 100,000. Maybe school fees.
When the poor is crying, the rich will say they are making noise. This is the time when you can have a father who has maybe two.
God bless you.
You know, prospecting.
The person who sent me this message has two.
And there are those who have more. And they are earning, either they're working for government or they are on their own, may not be up to 70, 50,000 in a month. They are in a situation where you call hand to mouth. And then government knows about a larger percentage of Nigeria. You know, honest, those who are earning anything proper living today have dependence in who knows how much percentage, including yours sincerely. I want to believe you too, and many of you listening out there. But those who are in high places, they say somebody will say, "Oh, Gary now costs the bag of rice is 25,000 naira, half bag, and it's 55,000, 50 kg bag." How many people can afford 3 cups of rice with ease? And these are the people in the largest of numbers. You know, when you hear the likes of Adam, somebody saying it, you see other apologists saying it, I just wonder. Now, if I have to go to Park, from Obohil to Park now, from this part of Obom where we are talking, I'll probably pay 250 naira to Opobo Junction, pay 300 naira to Park. If I have to go to like maybe Mosque, I'll pay another 300. That's 1,000.
2 and 4.
Now, 2 and 4, they're putting up 2,000. There are people who have not earned 1,005 in a whole day in this country. A whole day. And they have need to go there. We're talking about that. What about medical incapacity? Somebody told me the other day that people are no longer falling sick. And I say, why you fall sick?
It's not possible.
Even if you are sick, you hold it. Because you go to the hospital. They will check if your card has been regularized in the first place. And the Ministry of Health has not talked about this. If I'm your patient last year, and then I come to the hospital this year, I have the same details, everything. Not because of a tiny cardboard, tiny one that you have. I have as outpatient card that will now let you pick up my file and then be able to continue with my treatment. I have to renew my card Otherwise, even if I'm dying, no treatment. You go to hospitals, even if all you need is paracetamol. If you don't pay, even if you're dying, there is no attention. I have experienced it, even in a high octane, hospital.
But I'm sorry to come in. Bad things happen when good people do nothing. If you're a parent, you belong to a school WhatsApp group. You don't pay school fees, you don't pay WAEC. School content say you pay 100,000 naira for logistics for WAEC. And then you don't complain. Please help me. Do I blame the school or I blame the parents who belong to the WhatsApp group and just shut their mouth? So I believe that both the school manager and the parents are complicit.
My son,
I will not pay you that
my,
100,000 naira. No enter social
wait a
media.
minute, my son's
Ah.
exam result was delayed when he took them that year. And then, in order not to fail, there was this late registration. I said, okay, do a review registration. And we do that. There is a school at Clifford, very close to the river. And coming back this way to the river, there's a school there owned by, a clergy. And guess what? These students were coming, maybe with just their transport fares, and they blocked all of them on the, by the gate using NCDC officials that they have to pay before entering. So when I found my way, I took my son there. I saw the multitude of, candidates outside, and I asked them. They said they should pay.
Extortion.
Then I told the NSCDC, man, if you don't open this place, something will happen. Then they opened the place, and the students walked inside. I went inside. I said, I wanted the man should be listening to this program now. He's a reverend gentleman. He owns a church and a school at Clifford, at the tail end of Clifford. And then he was at the second floor, leaning on the window. And he says, please, I say, you two come down. I was livid. These are young individuals who want an opportunity for the future. Now, do you know that by keeping those children outside, you have disorientated them?
Absolutely.
They may not even
It takes some time to
do
balance.
anything well again
I
when they
agree.
get into the examination hall. And I told the man, I'm so and so person, I'm going to report. I will ensure that. He said, no, the money is because their computers, they buy fuel for generators.
So am I the one that will buy you fuel and for your school?
That is where people are talking about 100,000. 100,000 now looks like 5 cover to those who have money.
It's the audacity from you.
And what
fuel.
it means is that, if you are poor, don't think about education. Don't think about health. Don't think about jobs. Don't think about transportation. Don't think about gas to cook in your home. Kerosene is gone. I mean, I don't know what is happening, but I hope the Ministry of Education is listening. I just hope so, because this is unthinkable and happening. All right, let's move away from that now.
The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Yusuf Tuga, has resigned as minister. Let me just read 2 paragraphs from his resignation letter. Today, I formally submitted my resignation as Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs at the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, in line with directive of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR and the provision of the Electoral Act. The moment marks the close of a significant chapter of service focused on strengthening Nigeria's global partnership, deepening diplomatic engagement, delivering people-oriented approach. I express my sincere appreciation to the President for the trust and opportunity to serve. And in case you don't know, Yusuf Tuga is contesting for Bauchi Uber race.
On the platform of the APC. Anyway, tonight is the deadline, and we hear that only 2 ministers have so resigned. We don't know if other appointees have as well. If they have, then it's been quiet, because for me, I never heard of any apart from 2. The Minister of State for Environment, Yanuno, I think that he has quit. All right. So from one level to another level.
NSA is eyeing, or has been eyeing Adama Uber race. I don't know if he's interested this time.
Well, I read somewhere
Let's
it
watch and see.
might just be a hype that a former IGP is being cancelled to take his place as NSA.
He has not
But
resigned yet.
until
Yeah.
it is confirmed, but some persons are also saying that we may just see, so many people being announced as having resigned before midnight today. So we are watching to see if that can happen.
But regardless, you should go and say that Aisha Binani will beat him black and blue, except if he uses presidential mask.
The same Benani.
Yes.
Benani was not able to beat Fintri.
Do you know what happened behind the scenes?
And Fintri is in the APC
Do
now.
you know what happened behind the scenes? Everything will come for radio.
Now, the one where I know.
The woman beat her hands down.
Now.
She was winning to the night of the election. What happened in the night? You cannot tell the story in the day.
The thing you say, the one where I know now, I know. The one that is official. Because the man is there now for 3 years plus already. The fact again is, okay, 3 years plus, 5 years, not the last year. All right? Some people tomorrow will tell you that President Tinubu did not win the election. And they point at one person who won.
No, the point I'm trying to make is that she is very much on ground to be able to pull what she did in the last election, if not for certain forces.
But, funny enough, if that was the case, why? And she knew how his party, his party, they knew. Why didn't they wait for the election to be announced, the result to be announced, and then go to court as Yakubu made us believe at the time? But for the REC to go and announce, even while votes were being counted, I think it just
made a mess of the whole thing.
Everything. If you knew you were coasting home, and you knew also knew some hanky-pankies were taking place, take note of them, present them, and then you may just win. But they muddled up everything. Now,
she knew that forces were against her. She knew that if I go to the court, I may not make it. Let me take my chance now. Her approach wasn't good enough, but sometimes people from your gender used to accuse us. We women were not patient.
Because what the REC then did was criminal. And thank God she ran away into exile, but they've been able to settle it and it's back to Nigeria.
Did she really go on exile? She just took a break then.
Where you run away on account of an incident of that
nature? I took a break. I did not run away.
No, please. I will agree with you, but please agree. Now there was a case of that nature which was criminal. And he was being looked for after he had been beaten. Then he ran away from the country. My idea of it is exile. Why don't you stay and defend yourself and defend the action?
After elections, people go to rest. She went to rest.
He ran while the heat was on.
You mean the man or Binani?
The man now.
Okay, I think I Binani did talk.
Binani, what you concern me? The fact is that Binani too was culpable. Because if you were not privy to what the REC did, which made you an accomplice to the wrong act of the REC, which also makes it a criminal offense.
But the man has faced the law. So what are you saying?
Get the law.
But to be a beautiful thing to feel a female governor from northern Nigeria to break the jinx. It will be history forever told.
No, but as we're talking now, it's most likely from all indications that the National Security Advisor, if, for example, he leaves, might want to contest the election there. Well, from history, from experience, from knowledge, I want to believe you're saying that Binani is stronger on ground.
Big time.
Okay,
but nobody has federal minds.
That is where I'm going. If they are on the same party, the same APC.
I think she has left to ADC with her. I don't want to call him Man Friday now. People will misinterpret him.
Now, if they happen to be on the same party and they have to go for
they can't be in the same party primarily because she will not be considered. Now we deal with consensus. She won't be.
All right, let's move on. I think we have the Anya's story.
Yes, yesterday the story was all over social media. I'm sure some of you, social media, Abia social media space. Chimaya, so the YPP group candidate in the last election who had decamped from YPP to LP, yesterday officially declared his intention to vie for the Bende federal seat.
And we knew that he was going to, he has always been the LP, we just put it that way. And because the romance between him and the governor, all his actions and everything showed that he would end up with, the LP. Okay?
But was he doing it because he really loved the governor, or was doing it because he wanted a space in LP?
Anything you see now, be our own interpretation. the real intention in his mind. But of course, you can calculate to say that when you see, politicians coming together, even if from different blocks, and one is incumbent, and then ultimately you've seen the result as it is now, is because
But the
of
good
that.
thing I like about Governor Alex Ruti is that he's not the type of person that you can win by sugarcoating or dancing to the gallery. He knows real people. So if you're real or unreal, he sees between the lines. He's a very smart person. So that's why when I see some of them who are hanging around using him to trend, I don't really get bothered because Oti knows them. He can see through people. Those of you who have dealt with him can confirm what I'm saying. Oti sees through people. So I'm not even bothered by those who are hanging around him. But the most important thing is that the election is going to be a fierce one. If Benjamin Carlo, and I use the word if, is not going for Guba and he's returning or seeking to return to the House, it's going to be a really fierce one because the LP does not have a presidential candidate right now. Someone really said. At the state level, the Alex Oti camp are saying that they will support the president's re-election. Now, the power of a federal election is when you have a solid Guba candidate. I beg your pardon, presidential candidate. That's what happened that LP had plenty assembly members in the last election. Now, Benjamin Carlo has Jagaban as presidential candidate. So what usually happens when people vote is that the strength of the presidential candidate spills over to the National Assembly seats. So it's really going to be a fierce one. Secondly, Abia North is like APC stronghold. Anyasu has a lot of work to do. We have to spend a lot of to be able to match the firepower that is coming from both the camp, the Benjamin Carlo camp, the Kiyoneja camp. We have really solid people from Abia North, from the APC stock. So it's the state chairman too. Did I forget him? Tito Okechukwu. So Anyasu has a lot of work to do.
Well, you talk about people dancing around to the government. Governors also want to win elections. So even if you're not the best guy, but you are strong, in your zone, and you can garner votes from Mr. Governor or President, as the case may be, no matter your pedigree, high or low, they want to dance along with you. That is what politics is all about. For the APC, yes, they may look strong, but we also know the arm twisting tactics of some of these parties and their candidates in some zones, if nowhere else in Abia here, where journalists' tapes and cameras were seized and some were locked up somewhere until the election was over, so as not to report what was going on. I don't know that even some of our reporters from here experienced such in the last election in Abia North. I don't want to go name where in particular, but you should know if you know where I'm going.
When you're making me laugh. Sometimes you try to be a nice guy for a story that's already in public domain. But it is why maybe your approach. But it's good.
If I think we are not counting my head. Make I bend down my head. Not everything old man will take my
No, but
talk.
something that is already in social, it's in the public
You can
space.
see, okay, you can color it journalistic.
Anyway, let's see.
You know what I mean? All right, thank you. All right, quickly before we take our next break, Justice Joyce Abdulmalik of the Federal High Court in Abuja has granted new National Working Committee members of the PDP access to the National Secretariat of the PDP. That is the Wadata Plaza. Justice Malik also ordered security agencies, including the Nigeria Police, Department of State Services, among others, to give adequate protection to the PDP, led by Abdurrahman Mohammed, while accessing the secretariat. The judge held that the purported national convention held by the Turaki-led group on November 15 and 16, 2025 in Ibadan, and the election of the party's officials against the valid court orders was a nullity. According to the judge, all proceedings, resolutions, and decisions taken at the said convention, including the suspension of members of the first plaintiff, were unconstitutional, unlawful, null and void, and of no effect. She maintained that the convention violated section 2873 of the Nigerian Constitution as amended, as well as the PDP's constitution. It appears that all roads are blocked for the Turaki-led NWC PDP because at the time they were holding that convention, you recall that the former Jigawa State governor was also in court because, according to him, he had been disenfranchised because he wanted to contest and he was like shoved out, and many other things. The court injunction at the time as well and everything tend to be working in favor of the PDP. But beyond that, any right-thinking person would say, but these men who are supposed to be honorable, supposed to be, mark my words, I also said, let there be reconciliation. Even though we have predicted here that when we look up things may not work well because of the interests of individuals within the party, and that is what we're seeing now.
Well, it's all about interest. I think I had this conversation with somebody, a colleague 2 days ago. It's about interest. Sheyi Makinde wants to have his successor. Wike say, no, we will field a candidate from our group. So it's causing a whole lot of rancor. In Bauchi State, there are so much heavyweights in Bauchi. Yusuf Tuga, the Minister for Foreign Affairs, just resigned to join the Guber race. The former Chief of Air Staff, Sadiq Abubakar, is also very much on ground. He was the former Guber candidate of APC in the last election. A lot of heavyweights in Bauchi. And Bala Mohammed is trying to negotiate to say people should allow me. So it's basically about negotiations. Because if you recall, they had said earlier they will not go to the Supreme Court. But when the negotiations appeared as if they were not making progress, they said, nah, move. So that we'll shake them a little bit and make them to negotiate. But the odds are against them. The convention they did in Ibadan, INEC did not supervise it, which is why the governor of Adamawa State, Umaru, walked out of the convention. When he came and they not say INEC, he picked his microphone to say, what is going on here? Where's INEC? And then he walked away. Right. And then they did a new one in Abuja days ago at the weekend, which INEC was sitting very much in the front row. So the odds are against them. But like I said, it's about interest. They're trying to see if they can negotiate to have soft landing. But now the judge has ruled yesterday to say, oh yeah, the Wike group, you guys can go have your convention. Since, I beg your pardon, office. They were not allowed access in the secretariat before because there was this front and back between the other group and the Wike group.
But it's also good to be in power. It's also good to be on the side of those in power. Because the alacrity with which overnight INEC recognized the Wike faction after the convention,
posted it on their website,
sharp. And a convention that the dust had not settled. And then the court also coming up and giving all the technical judicial reasons why, the Wadata Plaza has to be opened. Wow. Instructing the DSS and the army as it is to
ensure compliance.
That did not happen before. And we had seen some rough fight many times in that same Wadata Plaza. Annie, but I think the workers have to go back to work. The rodents, the mosquitoes and cockroaches also have to be driven out of the place. Human beings, that is what we're seeing.
All right. So yesterday, the Kwankwasia movement, the former governor of Kano State, has officially joined. He was seen doing his registration at his ward. And of course, some of the juggernauts also were in Kano to witness the ceremony.
Well, that he has joined is not new anymore. But of course, the juggernauts, if you may want to know, the likes of former Senate President, ADC National Chairman, Mark, the party's National Secretary, former Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, and former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi. Others like Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal, former Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi, Dino Melaye, won't forget him. And of course, former Imo governor as well. I think we won't call him impeached or remove the governor.
Which one?
Mekai Hedio.
Okay.
He was a
Is
governor.
He a former governor?
And
in the eyes of the law, he
was in Douglas.
He was not a governor.
Yeah. Okay, that's why I say I think we can. Anyway, they were all there. And then the Kwankwasia movement, it was a huge crowd. Kwankwaso said the circumstances of the time, motivated him. And he thanked his group for allowing him and themselves to join the ADC, that is a better platform. We had known about this way ahead of time. You recall that Peter Obi was at a function of the Kwakwasiyas during the Ramadan. And at least the clip we got was where he was saying, Jama, and stuff like that. And salam alaikum. Thank you very much. Okay, so it was a known and a done deal before yesterday. Yesterday was just officially doing it. But quickly, in some little breaths, how do you think this will affect, the fortunes of, say, the APC and other parties in Kano? Because some guy who is now in APC but was in NNPP, or how am I forgetting his name? That Yamo, that's the name. He said, look, that even though Juan Kwaso cannot be written off in Kano, but the former chairman of the APC won his election not through the influence of Juan Kwaso and all that, and other people, no matter where he goes. Do you think, Juan Kwaso will scratch the back of whoever becomes the governorship candidate Kano, and then extending it to the presidential?
First of all, when I saw the video from Kano, I felt like, the Christians will say holy anger. I vex. Because this was the coalition Nigerians were begging for in 2023. Kwankwaso versus Obi. Kwankwaso now went on BBC to say that who is Obi? That people will tell him to deputize for Obi. He belittled, he saw Obi as a small boy, a small fry. Now, after the Obi river happened, he now saw that, okay, this guy, all the on a small weight. He now started aligning with Obi this year. So when I saw the videos, I was angry that if they had done this thing last year, with Obi's vote and what Kwankwaso scored, then they are so rock already. They just handed this victory to Bola Ahmed Tinubu on a platter. Now, they are back to working together. What happened to Atiku versus what's this man's name? Amechi. Atiku has said, issued a statement 2 days ago when people started publishing rumors that he's leaving the race. It's not very much in the race. So my concern is the alliance between Obi and Kwankwaso. What about Atiku? Does it mean that Obi has now dumped Atiku and won't dump to? So I'm waiting for their primary to happen. Let me see who they move. Then that will determine how the pendulum will swing. Because the Obi that I know cannot beat an Atiku in a primary because of the polarized nature of the primary. Plus, the delegates are more from northern Nigeria. So that is the calculation from the primary. So I'm waiting to see how that will happen. But in an election where you need to bring so much firepower, like what the APC is doing. Did you people watch APC convention? Blood of everywhere in that place there was wrong. Red, royal, wrong. Look at the whole setup, the kind of money they spent in that convention. Then imagine for 1 second the kind of money they will bring to the president. The APC vice chair, South, look at that. Mr. Wunye, Ben Wunye, said they will not take Obi for granted this time. Meaning, last time we overrated, we just ignored him. That was why he was able to pull what he pulled. Meaning this year, there will be concerted effort. Even when Obi was in our station last week, he mentioned with his mouth that there are forces working hard to see his not on the ballot. And those forces are not sleeping. They are very much awake, working, planning, strategizing. Oh,
Well, that is what politics is all about, by the way. Who can outwit the other? It's just that we almost make it look like a do or die affair in our country. All right, we'll just take a break right now. By the time we return,
I thought we have just read the
let's deal with that.
issue. I think that's the song. Listen to it.
You have different people wanting to be president for his house. You have the Obi himself. You of course have Alex, who was, and somehow you are not really big head. You know that. If you come to Southeast and you see what happened in the last election, it was the ground zero for the Obian movement. They practically took everywhere, including my state. I was sitting there, prepared. I remember the Obian movement is there, like have APC, and he's saying going to run. So when you have that, you have a whole block, almost every vote is going to count. We're going to fight for the system. We're going to make sure that we get as much as we can to win. So there's no doubt.
Oh, in Kenya, say you are going to make sure. Let it be legitimate means. Because when you have politicians say you are going to make sure, it's very deep. Meanwhile, the NMPP has encouraged and has announced that they have joined the coalition ADC. The National Publicity Secretary of the party, Nadeko Johnson, mentioned this to news yesterday. Let's take a listen.
It doesn't. The NLP will continue to contest the elections, although there will be an agreement or alliance with the ADC towards the presidential elections, maybe some of the national elections. We have candidates down the ballot.
Okay, the clarification is important that the coalition is also presidential mostly, while the five for other seats, State Assembly, House of Rep. It seems like this year's election is more collabo. PDP supporting APC, some part of Labour supporting APC, NNPP supporting ADC. It's a coalition of presidential candidates. It's
Well,
going to be very
that would
interesting.
narrow down the ballots for some elections. But again, they have to be seen. The closer we get to the election, the better we know if some of these things will work out. Now, let's take a break now. When we return, we'll go into our thing. Stay with us.
When 1960, it was the ụlọ akwụkwọ anyị wuru mmepe ọha mmadụ ọgụgụ isi na mmepe mba karịa egwuregwu anyị wuru ọchịchọ na mmetụta nke mba. Anyị kwuru ihe ndabere echi gara aga na nketa otu ọnụ anyị ka ga-ewu ọbịanihu ndị tụghachi karịa ịrụ ụlọ.
There you go there. Oh, you didn't have milk. No need to. Taste it and see why. Wow. Wow. Is it milky? Yeah. Is it creamy? Yeah. That's Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy for you. It's so milky. I don't need to add more milk. I love it, Mommy.
Give your kids Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy. It's truly milky. It contains calcium to help your child win every day. Milo, energy to go forward. No good. You keep running easily get your camera. Here I want to go and actually make good to get right. I make you make it wrong with your budget. No game can be facility. CDJ Apamuka. Make it for the can come and navigate. Rahul and come and you Apamuka. Get you Muka. Name Kasupi Nanto. Came in 1959. And you didn't want to hear who's on a fan, and you would have want to join a body like I did call but I call no, you know, Ian Dabere agent. Oh, to all, I think I gave you all the
Widen the alternative voice within the democratic space.
All right, Magic FM Abba, that is our Facebook page that you can drop your comments on. In case you're just listening for the first time, as the case may be, the numbers to call are 0907 677 1029, 0916 988 1029, 0809 666 1029. Because are coming. Good morning.
Good morning, Andy.
You're welcome. Your name, location.
Yes, I'm calling from Aba. My name is Pastor from the I'm calling from Aba. The issue of killings in Benue State and Plateau State is quite unfortunate. Nigeria has become a city of law. City of law. But I want to say this. The military men, especially the army, they are supposed to place the interest of securing Nigerian people and the interest of their religion. Because I think there's a foul play. You know, when I was in Kano, even if you're a terrorist, once you can pray with them, you are welcome. You are welcome. Nothing will happen to you. But once you cannot pray with them, that is the time they will do their job. Please. And they are capable. Only the difference between common people and all these politicians in Nigeria is like from here to the United States of America. So many hours every day. They should consider themselves as people that we are born like these common people. Only that they are privileged to be in a position. Their government should change, repent, and change. What he did was evil. People died and their parents, their people are crying. You entered our car.
As in, his life is more important to him.
All right, Urugu, thank you. But let's remind Nigerians that we should extend our sympathies to other Nigerians who have been killed in their numbers in other states of the Federation. There's this sentiment about Benue and Plateau. Borno is always happening in Katsina, in Zamfara, in Kebbi. Next to the FCT in Nigeria, Kwara State, Kogino left out. We see blood flowing as well. Let's extend our sympathy to them without singling out two states because it has just happened there. Right? Just to give you some words of empathy to those people as well. Hello? Good morning. Okay.
What do you have this question to anytime? Some years ago, one of the world leaders who is dead now, Aman Gaddafi, he came here. He saw everything on our face. He told us, you people have to fight yourselves. You are not one. And some people called him. Now, where are we? Are we one? Let me go to say we are one. You wake up, you go and take a group of people of one religion. Just every day and nothing happens. I think we are one. Is he trying to worship God? Politics. Some people follow their God. Follow their own God. At the end of the day,
it's okay. Thank you very much. Let's give others the chance to also join the conversation this morning. Who is here now? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
You're welcome.
All the way from Port Harcourt.
Okay.
Let me ask you before to that of that have then they are considered just community based on the 29th. The attack. Actually, I've heard this attack and killing that has been going on across the country. Who has been affected 1970 when that accord was passed for them to structure Nigeria in a way where it may try and live in harmony and peace and love for one another. The one choose intelligence decided to another agreement, and this is the result of that agreement that cannot what we are facing in Nigeria today. Well, we have found ourselves in this situation, and the question we are asking now, what is the way forward? Because these people are not ready to pass that. And the security agencies are not ready to go after them. How many terrorists have we seen persecuted and executed openly so that it will be a deterrent to others? They are telling you it's their political law that we should give them a chance. That back when President was given a second chance. This is the army chief telling Nigerians, what are we talking about? This country must be negotiated, must be on the table. They can't continue speaking words that whole Nigeria united. United for where? And somebody is killing you because of your religion in the same country. And presidency and security agencies are not doing anything. I think we should be quiet and speak for what? We need to discuss this country. Either we go separate ways, let them practice Sharia, whatever is living. When we go and practice whatever we believe in. That is the peaceful way, from my own tradition.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, for those who think that way, apart from, let's say, Jigawa, maybe Kano, and maybe one other state in the northwest, there is no state to go in the north where you don't have a large number of Christians. I mean, not visitors, indigenous Christians. And they are said to be even more radical than the average Christian elsewhere. Unfortunately, they don't propagate their own faith with violence. And I think that is the difference here. Now, even where the last one happened in Jos or Plateau, it's called Angwa Rukuba. If you check, Angwa is not their native language. Even the Rukuba may have been imposed on them. You know, if you check deeply, you realize that the name of that place is different. So, the people that they came killing in this community would have also been people of other faiths as well. All right. The story remains that the government must do something. Not when a governor has exemplified that by coming in an armored car and not even coming down, but standing half middle way. I mean, it's so unfortunate.
I hope that during the campaign, people will tell me, go and bring your armored car. We don't want to see you on foot. Yes. On Facebook, Kelechi Alexander, how I wish other candidate parties will follow NMPP, join the coalition, the ADC coalition, but that is the only way they can win APC. He's writing from Unga Road. Drinkwater Wisdom Land says APC South saying they will not take it for granted this time sounds funny. More than the Tom and Jerry cartoon. Nature says massacre and plateau. What are we paying our security for? Honestly, the security agencies are not doing their work. From Uncle O. Mazizubi Madweke, we have joined the ABC coalition. The game of 2027 election will be tougher. Tinubu will use his incumbency and other strategy to take over. He's the sole employer of the electoral umpire, accepted by lawmakers. This country will not be good except the constitution is revisited. Sadly, though, we don't have time. Semanek has done the time to do by making it difficult for people to even raise their head. Gabriel Waka, honestly, they're just killing and the comes from the will be sound. I don't know when all this is going to end. The governor Caleb Mutwang even came to address them. He said an armored car, which means his own life is not even guaranteed. Felix Ubani, did you hear the people of Plateau saying that the military was giving the bandits backup in the country? That is, the military said they are fighting for insurgency in the country. Linda King, I think the simplest and practical way to prove to the people of Plateau State, Nigeria, and the world in general is for the chief security officer, the governor, and his family members to be moving around. In every part of the state without our security guard or armor tank. My brother, my sister, rather. Hello, how do you kill? Kind of Mark Thomas says the series of killings in Nigeria calls for serious concern. The approach adopted so far by our leaders is weak. The efforts they're making towards election in 2027 will channel towards security matters in this country. All these bandits will run away. It's writing from Obenyasa. John Kennedy, look at the way you sound. but you could not call them who they are. Who they are? I don't understand.
You should have called them who they are.
He said just gunmen that I should have said terrorist attack. I said they were attacked by gunmen. Are they not gunmen? If they're terrorists, were they not holding guns? No, beg this kind. Apostle Honorable Emmanuel Abazi, writing from Igbo, the court granting new PDP leadership access to the National Secretariat. Said us to Brilo. Watching us from the live feed. Let's quickly take some messages there before. Oh, oh sorry.
Then, the absence of that, let's take a few more calls.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Good morning, and my sister.
Morning, sir. Go ahead quickly, please.
I'm following your program with keen interest, especially what is happening in Plateau State and other parts of the country. My name is Demian Okadunu.
Okay.
Honestly, Bonetta said it all when he was chief of army staff. He made it clear to everyone that this Nigerian wants all this nonsense to stop. It will stop. And that means what is happening to us is coming from the leaders. We don't have to blame the military. Because the military organize and send people to finish those who are doing all these things. Then we are ambushed. And it was a combat hitting them there. That's where these people are coming. To the ambush them on social positions. So my position is, please, let the government know that women beings are not criminals. And the people who don't tolerate people who have this. It is turning our body here. It's killing us indirectly. We don't let it any longer. We should release our brother. If it is that, is the post of the problem of the country. And the Plateau people should remember they are our brothers. They have to organize themselves properly and pray to God so that all this process will come. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you too.
So the live feed is finally up. Bagochi Kerevisi. Oh, sorry.
Well, with just one, then we
It's
can
fine,
go.
it's fine.
Hello. Morning. So your name again and where you calling from?
And Sadro,
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
very well. If you look carefully, you should actually observe. You will see that the Nigerian situation has come haywire. And just like what happened in the days of Pharaoh, this is more mysterious than people are looking at. So I believe Nigerian leaders have to take a lesson goes to the country. And then find out that once the nation is in this corner, spiritual environment should be there to ascertain the cause and the solution thereof. If it is dividing this position that they are forcing everybody to be one Nigeria. We don't have one Venezuela, one United States, one Ghana, one Cameroon. This is really one Nigeria, forced unity. Even the government not tell you people that they will be against between us here and there, collecting tokens and terrorists because of their land. What is happening today?
Bagochi Kerevisi himself, Peter is a man that know the game. OAU Media. If our political leaders claim they do not have any clue about the terrorists in the land, that will be a lie in a broad daylight. The attack is looking more politically organized. No arrest, the attackers will even issue notice before the attack will be done. No chief, Nnadozie. No Nigeria People's Party joining ABC to change motor strike, especially in the north and southeast. Andrew Asubike Onuzulike says any day Nigeria will defeat APC, the second independence. Abi, Jagaban is coming with an A game. Jesus Christ. King Street of School Crown is waiting to see Atiku and Kwankwaso being able to check their age-long bad blood, ego in check, work together for APC and the issue of unending insecurity in the North. To the North reads themselves of religious hypocrisy, conspiracy of science. I don't think this unfortunate and brutal murder of human life will end anytime soon. Austin, our problems are leaders. Now is how to bring election, not even the killing in the country. Wow. Let's also check another message. His Excellency should look. His Excellency Governor Alex Oti should please call for the release of the white paper of the cases handled by the Abia State Judicial Panel of Inquiry for recovery of government property and related matters. Some issues affecting some Abia State civil servants are still pending for the past 2 years as a result of this delay. Thank you. God bless you. This is a message from Kingsley.
Right. Let's have you here. Hello, good morning. You're welcome. Yeah, could you speak up a little bit, Maxwell? Mhm.
Hmm.
Come on to say that this people are not terrorists. They are kids. Now, our security agencies are not doing enough. Otherwise, so that as a gesture to be asked to trust and build the people to look at them of carry and then at the end of the day, but we're still talking
No,
about
she didn't die though. I'm sorry.
so
The child did not die, right?
having
The
said
child
that,
died, but she
our
did not die.
our leaders have said us. I remember the first president of Singapore when they witnessed the country was in crisis in Rua. They asked how is that was this is a lifetime commitment. That was his comment. And from that moment, and today Singapore is a corporate culture. But what I will say here, everything we have is in more just. The oil that got people the fact that was taken has been not just.
Oh.
We have not taken the security. Well, from where our children are useless, no country, no company. Then our children come up from university, no job. They are all that we talk about. And the business is just come together to fight this situation. Because they cannot stand. They do something and bring this together. Our leaders, if we get committed to rebuild this work, different Allah in Nigeria. This is my book. Otherwise, the Nigerian is a lot of confusion. And we have to do that.
All right. We thank you. Hello. Good morning. Hello.
Hello.
I can hear you.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Your name and location.
I am engineer.
Okay.
Yes, this group I found associated with as security practice before. I'm not saying that you will be the well, if we find the ticket, as a result of that if it happens again, it is that systematically one person is getting is significant regulating that is regulating that and that's a very good work for him. But in as much as they want this to happen, they should use their campaign data to tell people to come out and vote. Because as of today, really what happened 23, people are so tired. People should come out and vote if we really want that change. We are going to develop that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Voting for the Peter Obi and Tonkoso is not a problem. At this level, the problem is beating the tickler. That is what we are watching because Atiku and his group were the people who came together to form a coalition. what's his name? Kwankwaso is just a new entrant. Do you get?
Yeah.
So we are
Also,
just
it's
worried.
incoming voters.
You don't get it. We're talking of voters at the election. You need only ticket in the election.
Any other account? Another account?
You have to have tickets first. That's what we're saying.
Okay.
That we need him to get the ticket and match with him to go for the main election. Right now, it's how to grab the ticket from Atiku that's the problem.
2027, the latest bride. Who will be the husband? We are watching. And that is where we end the program today. Our hearts still going out to our brothers and sisters all over Nigeria who are, facing the battle. Until we come tomorrow, I am gone.
I'm Anastasia. Bye bye.
Little body, big moves. Little brain, big learning. Your little child is eager to do big things. Every sachet of Cerelac juice comes with the nutrition they need: natural grains, protein, and iron to support your physical growth, learning, and development. So you can fully enjoy your little one's big moments of growth.
Make you enjoy your food with one ice cold Coca-Cola, and you fit win your share from 600 million naira. You are 2 millionaires for the next every day. You have over 50 million naira for winning prizes, just like any Coke, Sprite, or Schweppes. You will get glass or plastic bottle. Scan the QR code for the cover of the glass bottle or for the label of the plastic one. Then check the code when they put it for your chance to become millionaire and win better prizes. Wow! Scan and still winning. This is a plan.
Raise your voice and shout. Come on.